Hello and welcome to the What Northern Ireland Means to Me podcast, presented by me, Julia Paul. This series has been produced by Shared Future News to mark the centenary of Northern Ireland and is funded by the Heritage Fund on behalf of the Northern Ireland Office. Shared Future News provides information and personal stories on the topics of peace building, reconciliation and diversity to a Northern Ireland audience and beyond. In this episode, Sarah Creighton, who's a writer and commentator and lawyer from Belfast, tells us what Northern Ireland means to her.
Northern Ireland is home. That probably seems a very obvious thing to say, but for some people, they don't really feel very connected to it. But for me, I always really have, even though I've always felt very frustrated, kind of infuriated with it, but it's where I've always felt my sense of belonging. I am a unionist and I'm British and I'm Irish, but if you ask me to pick somewhere in the world where I feel most at home and where I feel the biggest sense of belonging, it is Northern Ireland. I don't really feel like I fit in much in Britain. I don't really feel like I fit in much in the Republic of Ireland. I suppose I'm an Ulster woman. I always think that's a bit of a unique thing. It's a bit of a strange thing to describe to people sometimes, and they think, well, you're a unionist and you want this union with Britain, but you don't really feel like you belong there. I think it's the experiences we have here and the problems we've faced, really. It kind of defines you, no matter what side of the community you come from. Ulster, I think a couple of years ago, a lot of people quite rightly so, they associated Ulster with Ulster Says No. The concept of Ulster, they meant Northern Ireland. It was a de facto way of saying Northern Ireland, but John Hewitt talked about it a lot in his writings, of the province of Ulster. To me, it kind of speaks to that uniqueness of the Irishness and the Britishness. He talks about the knot of this island, and all the different cultures and creeds that have come to this island and made it their home. That's what I mean when I say Ulster, really. It's that kind of fusion of cultures and that kind of very uniqueness of being from Ulster, because we have such a long, complicated history. And I think for me, about being Ulsterwoman, I think that's what I mean. I don't think everybody needs to have a shared identity. Hewitt, he was born before partition, so he did have that connection to Ireland as a whole. But some of my friends, even from a Catholic nationalist background, because they've grown up in the United Kingdom, they are influenced by that culture. And then you get this Northern Irish identity that's coming through. They would feel that as well. It's a strange thing just being from this place. And, you've just got all these different strands running through your identity. And I think it's good to explore them no matter where you've come from. That knot that John Hewitt talked about, that kind of sense of being from lots of different places, and you've ended up in this wee rock somewhere on this corner of the Irish Sea. My family's here. We've lived here hundreds of years, I suppose. A lot of my family would have come over from Scotland. There were migrants that came over from Scotland really in the mid-1800s. Some of them came over in the plantations, obviously, which is very different. But I have a connection to Scotland, and that connection to Scotland is interwoven into Ulster as well. And, I do feel quite a bit of a connection to my Scots heritage. My job is here. I love our sense of humour. I love the people. I love our food, love our culture. It's a fantastic place, and I love the diversity of Northern Ireland that's increasingly coming through in the past couple of years. I think we're a very friendly place. I think we're a very warm place. Now, I think we've got a lot of work to do in terms of tackling racism, and I think we could be a bit more welcoming to people from overseas in some places, but overall I think we're very good, decent people. A lot of people here would give you the clothes off their backs if they really wanted to help you. It's not just unique to Northern Ireland, but I do think there is something very warm and kind-hearted about us in Northern Ireland, despite everything that we've been through. So for me, really, it means home, it means safety, it means a sense of belonging. For me, that's what sets Northern Ireland apart from everywhere else.
What Northern Ireland Means to Me is produced by Shared Future News. Our staff include Alan Leonard, Alan Mabon and Julia Paul. Our theme song is Figure in the Fog by Jordan McMurray, with thanks to Music Paths. This and other episodes with transcripts are available at the Shared Future News website, sharedfuture.news. You can also follow us on Facebook at Shared Future News and Twitter at Shared Future. If you would like to suggest someone for a future episode of What Northern Ireland Means to Me, please email us at editor@sharedfuture.news. Thanks for listening.